and welcome to the Direct Selling Success Podcast. I'm Anna Green, and I'm here to share with you tips, tricks, and training on network marketing done right. Thank you for listening. Hello. Wow, 99th episode. I can't believe it. 99 episodes. That's mental. So back when I started doing this podcast in 2022, December 2022, 23. Gosh, I can't remember. Whenever it was, a couple of years ago, let's say a couple of years ago, I never ever thought that I would still be doing this now. I thought it would be a few months and I'd give up because it wouldn't work. And look at us now, 99 episodes. Next time is the 100th episode. Gosh, 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 gosh. So I thought today I would, have a bit of a reminisce really more than anything. And hopefully my reminiscing will help you in some way, shape or form with your business. I want to take you back to 2009, 2010. Let's go 2009, 2009 for those of you that say it like that. And my time with network marketing myself. So I used to be with a party plan company. So the old fashioned party plan, you got a kit, you took it in your car, you went round people's houses, you did a little demonstration, had some fun, sold some stuff, drank some tea. It was great. Absolutely loved the model. Fantastic model. And it really suited my lifestyle back then. But back in 2010 till 2019, I hadn't been doing it very long, a couple of years in the company that I was with. I had dabbled, shall we say. I was hitting a nice income level, a few £100s a month for a young mum, which was quite nice at the time. And I remember sitting at a conference, so it'll have been August 2009, sat at a conference, and they announced an amazing incentive trip. And I remember sitting there thinking, oh my goodness me, if only I could do that, if only I could go there, what do I have to do to get it? And the whole conference, you know these things. If you've ever been to one of these conferences, you know how you get swept along and how exciting it is. And I was just so excited. I was a consultant, so I had a couple of team members. I dabbled in recruiting, I dabbled in sales, regularly doing between 4 and 6 parties a month, bringing in probably about 12 to £1,500 of sales every month. A couple of people who probably did about £20 a month. That was it. And this trip came up to Hong Kong, and I thought, oh, do you know what? I want that. I really want that. And I vowed that I would go for it. I said to myself, right, I'm going for it. Now, these trips are not easy to achieve. They're not designed to be easy to achieve. And I remember setting out my plan of what I needed to do. I knew what I needed to do sales-wise every month. I knew how many people I needed to recruit every month throughout the trip qualification period. I knew that I had to get to leader within a certain time frame to be able to get all the bonus points and stuff that came with being a leader. And for any of you that have been in companies trying to achieve trips, you know they have set criteria you've got to hit. Every company is different. Mine was, if you hit the points, you went on the trip. So there was no worrying about what other people might achieve, what they might not achieve, whether I would win it. I could win it in my own right. So I thought, right, this is down to me. This is down to me to do the things that are necessary to do. So I sat down and I worked out the minimum that I would need to do, then looked at what I needed to do over and above that to make sure I hit it, so that I wasn't working on those minimums. And I did myself a little tracker, and away I went. I left that conference knowing what I was going to do to get on this trip. And every single day I worked towards it. And do you know what? I got the trip. I honestly, I knew from day one that I was going to get that trip. I knew. And I just worked at it. I just kept going and worked at it. And do you know what? It was the best trip ever. I had never been on a plane by myself. I'd only been on a plane twice before, on our honeymoon back in 2002. Me and my husband got on a plane to Indonesia My auntie lived over there at the time. It was my first plane trip. I had massive anxiety, massive panic attack on the plane. It was the worst journey ever with turbulence and lightning storms and everything. Anyway, went there and then I had to come back. Massive panic, horrendous, awful. But then I'd run this trip. I was going on this trip. And do you know what? When you've got anxiety, one of the things that I found was that if I really wanted to do something, the anxiety didn't get in the way as much. When I wasn't that bothered about doing something, the anxiety got in the way an awful lot more. It was more challenging to deal with. But I went on this trip. I went on this trip by myself, not really knowing anybody. Actually, I didn't know anybody at all before I went on the trip. I got on the plane at Manchester Airport with a group of people who were absolutely lovely, who looked after me, made me feel welcome. We had an amazing time in Hong Kong. We were treated to such amazing things. And do you know what? These holidays, they are once in a lifetime holidays. They would cost thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds to go on if you paid for it yourself. But you're treated like royalty. 5-star rooms, 5-star service, 5-star food, 5-star excursion trips out and about. We went on the Jumbo restaurant, which unfortunately isn't there anymore. We went to see the Tian Tan Buddha. We went up in fantastic sky cars. I forgot what you call them now. You know, the sky cars, the things that go up on the big lines up the mountainside. What do you call them? Oh, anyway, comment on the comments and tell me what they're called. It's just gone from my head. I want to call them a monorail, but it's not a monorail. Yeah, but it was just such a most fantastic experience. And I vowed from that moment on that I would not miss another incentive trip. I missed two. One I missed because I had to choose whether to get the top level of the company or achieve the trip because I couldn't manage both with what I was going for, and I went for the top level of the company. And the second time was my own fault. I missed it on a technicality, but not bitter. I went and paid for my own holiday instead, which was lovely. But yeah, I achieved many, many trips over my time to amazing destinations all over the world and had some phenomenal experiences. And if you have trips within your company, I highly suggest you go for them with the right mindset. So I'm going to give you 3 things that I learned, 3 things that massively helped me achieve my first incentive trip that I used every time going forward. And I taught my team to do as well. And now I teach my clients to do the same. So the first thing that I want you to remember is that they are not easy, okay? They are designed to build your business and they are designed for the people who are working, the top levels, the people who are committed to succeed, those people who are making the company a lot of money. Because what they've got to do is they've got to budget for the holiday with what is income is generated by the people who go and the people who try for it. So it's made difficult for a reason. And they are so amazing for a reason as well. That is to get people to do the things. So it's a reward for taking action at that level. So you have to take action at that level. Okay, they are designed to be hard to achieve. So my first top tip for you, no, it's not a top tip. It's the things that helped me achieve, shall we say. The first thing that helped me achieve the Hong Kong trip in 2010 was that I had failed to achieve the year before. So for me, 2010, Hong Kong was not the first trip I went for. There was a trip to, I want to say Malta or Morocco, something beginning with an M. It was a long time ago. And that was the trip that was announced in 2008, the first year I was with this company. And you got to go in 2009. And I didn't get anywhere near. And rather than thinking, oh, I'm not going to make it, I'll just stop, which is what a lot of other people did who were around me, I didn't. I kept going. I decided that I would see how close I could get So once I knew that I'd failed, I didn't just go, throw teddies out the cot, sod it, I'm off. What I did was I tested. I thought, how much can I do of this? Quite new to the business, no experience, no real idea what I was doing, but how close could I get? And I got about just over halfway to the points that were needed to go on the first incentive trip I went for. Not even close, but I learnt. And this is the important thing. And I remember hearing it so many times: fail forward, fail, get up, go again, fail, try. Just keep trying. Because what happens is a lot of people will fail at the first hurdle when comes to a trip, or they'll tell themselves they can't do it, or whatever. And when they do that, they stop taking action that will get them closer for the next time. Because the idea of a trip is that it builds your business. The idea of these trips is that if you go for them, you'll earn money, you'll build a business. So if you stop, you're going to stop building your business to a stage where you could be going next time. So what I did was thought, well, let's see how close I can get, built my business. After the trip qualification ended, I kept building my business. So when trip qualification came round again the next year, and it was Hong Kong, I was in a solid place to be able to get it. I was in a much better mindset to be able to get it. I knew what to expect. And that time I knew I had to actually, do some proper work to get it. And that's what I did. So I would highly recommend going for it, going all in, whether or not you're anywhere close. And the next year, well, between the trip periods, keep building at that same rate. And the next year you will smash it. The second thing that helped me achieve was that unshakable belief. I knew I was going to be on that plane to Hong Kong. I knew. There's nothing like knowing, all right? And it made such a difference. So there was no maybe about it. There was no doubt in my mind. Well, that's a lie. There was a lot of doubt in my mind, but what ifs, all this. But I knew I was getting on that plane. I would do everything possible to get on that plane. Legal, obviously. I even put the dates for the flights in my diary. I could see myself sat on that plane. I could see myself in Hong Kong. I knew what I was going to do. I was going to bring some jade back for the kids, and I was going to look at getting a nice dress made because it was really cheap out there at the time. I knew what I was doing when I was there. I could see myself there. And even with that huge fear of flying and some quite serious health problems to boot as well, one being massive vertigo and I couldn't walk for about 3 months of the trip period, failure or stopping were not an option. This was going to happen. And yeah, things came up like the massive vertigo issues and my anxiety and parties cancelling and people joining and then not doing anything. These things happen. But I had the plan and I knew what I was going to do. And I had that unshakable belief that it was going to happen, which brings me to the third thing, the plan. Like I said right at the beginning, I created a plan. I knew what I needed to do and I went for it. I sat down and I broke it all down. I could see the points. I could see how many sales I needed to do to get the points. I had different variations of how I could do it depending on how many people I brought in, whether I got leader or not, all the things. I planned it all out. And then I'd broken it down into an action plan that I could follow. How many people did I need to speak to every day? How many parties did I need to book? Where did I need to show up? How many new people? How many recruits did I need? What did I need to do with them recruits to help them build? I knew it all. The plan is crucial. And sticking to it and then tweaking as you go along when things don't happen or something doesn't work or something does work, keeping tweaking and doing the things consistently is what got me on that plane, and it's what will get you on your next trip as well. Really, really key. And I did notice when I was going for this trip that all the other people that were going for this trip that didn't have a plan, that kept missing the incentive trips. And the ones that I see doing that now, and the ones I used to see during my time as a leader, leading others to get their own incentive trips, those people who just weren't hitting it, it was because they didn't have a plan, or their plan didn't line up with what they needed to achieve the trip. They were either working on minimums or they'd set the plan in action and then weren't taking the actions, honestly, it was the plan and knowing all the way. I would highly recommend you go for these trips. They build your business massively, even if you don't achieve them. If you get on that plane, when you get on that plane, it is the most unreal experience you will ever have. It's not like going on a holiday with your family. It's something else. It's something that you will never forget. So, use this information. Fail. Fail forwards. Go for them and then keep going and keep building, even if you're nowhere close. Because if you stop, you'll be nowhere close the next time and the next time, and you won't have built and you won't have earned. That unshakable belief that you will be on that flight is so key, and the plan. Go for it. And I would love to hear about any incentive trips you guys have been on, any that you've gone for, any that you're going for. Drop them in the comments in here. Drop them into my Instagram at Direct Selling Success. Come and tell me about these trips. I want to see some photos. I'd love to see some photos. And yeah, you know what? Go for it. Just absolutely love the journey and go for it. I shall see you next time for my 100th episode. Oh, so excited. Have fun till then. Bye.